The distance to the rock's bottom is 24.2 meters. Average incline of 4.2%. That should not be a problem for people with average climbing skills.
Thanks for showing so much confidence in my climbing skills.
A scan of the swamp beyond this point did not yield sufficient results. Weak signals of small life forms can be made out.
Okay. Core, has the signal changed at all?
Negative. It is unchanged and still active at the same strength and same relative distance.
I can't see the light anymore. Oh well. Whatever it is, the signal might be useful. Maybe I can repurpose it. Can you fly ahead and scan the ground to tell me where I can walk?
Confirmed.
So far, so good.
You made it look quite easy.
Thanks. That wasn't my first climbing session. But as I thought, I won't be able to get back to the ship's wreckage.
It would be logical to not waste time and instead look ahead, as long as the signal is active.
Somehow I've got the feeling we're going to ask ourselves where ahead even is. I hope ahead doesn't mean through the undergrowth and straight into some animal's mouth.
My sensors would register any animal with Tessa-sized mouths.
How reassuring. No, I can't get back up there to the wreck. There's a swarm of insects here. They look like oversized mosquitoes, sucking on the plant and glowing. So they're the ones causing these strange lights in the swamp. Seems to be some form of bioluminescence.
These are the small life forms that I registered.
They're as big as rats. A large bubble that formed on the swamp water. A bit disgusting, really. Oh, so they didn't like the smoke either. Now they're over there, eating and glowing.
The signal is coming from this direction.
A swarm of insects happily feasting on a plant. They look like blown-up mosquitoes and are glowing green and yellow. I think they're ignoring me. There was nothing special on this side of the swamp. It all looked the same. And the path seems to be just back here. We have to use the signal as a guide. These remind me more of corals than of plants. They're even moving slightly, but apart from that, they seem uninteresting.
Corals on Earth are more akin to animals than to plants.
Tony would have been delighted to try and find out what exactly these things are.
The plant is in bloom and it's made these fibers soak with an oily liquid. The signal is coming from this direction.
An impressive flower. Long, strange fibers are hanging out of it. They're oily and sticky. Maybe to catch pollinators like a spider's web.
I will be careful.
I'll cut them off as far up as possible, but I'll leave most of them. I'm sure the plant needs them to survive. Long, thin, slightly oily fibers. A swarm of insects happily feasting on a plant. They look like blown-up mosquitoes and are glowing green and yellow. I think they're ignoring me. Wow, this plant is in bloom. Finally, a little bit of color on this hunk of rock. But the smell isn't exactly what I would call infatuating or appealing.
Neither would I. Then again, I have no smell receptors. In any case, this smell is not meant to attract us. We are strangers to this world.
Thanks for reminding me, Cor. I almost forgot. But from a scientific standpoint, I am interested why this one is in bloom while the others are not. Not that the answer would help me out. Incredible how dirty, brackish, green, lentic, stinking water can give life to all sorts of creatures. But we humans are disgusted by it.
This disgust prevents you from drinking it and transporting all kinds of bacteria and parasites into your organism. Tessa.
Thanks for the reminder. How deep is the water core?
More than 1 meter here.
Whatever I throw in here, I won't be able to get it back. Oh, so they didn't like the smoke. They're getting uneasy, but are staying put. Maybe the smell is agitating them.
This is a dense network of individual plant fibers that extend underground for many kilometers. They are all part of the same species and leave no room for others. The signal is coming from this direction. A few of them got scared, but they just sat down again. They're getting uneasy, but are staying put. Maybe. The signal is coming from this direction. The signal is coming from this direction.
This just keeps getting better. Wouldn't it be nice if life was easy?
Intergalactic Mining Corporation. No progress without obstacles.
Yeah, I know the propaganda.
Do you know the slogan's origin?
I may have mild amnesia, Core, but I know that I always deliberately disregarded that information.
The IMC's legendary founder, Walter Knight, derived his worldview and ethics from the video games he so thoroughly enjoyed playing. If there are no obstacles or problems in your way, then you're going in the wrong direction, is what he always said. You should be on the lookout for obstacles. Hence, no progress without obstacles.
I thought some overpriced advertising company had come up with that slogan. But it's even worse. He came up with it while wasting his time on video games. Well, I guess he wanted to appear more down-to-earth, our Mr. Knight. And that's how people actually see him. Because they bombarded us with the slogan in every commercial.
My market research data shows a correlation between the slogan's frequent repetition and the IMC's customer ratings.
How nice for the IMC. Okay, obstacles. So that means we should be heading towards those mountains over there. They count as an obstacle, right?
Correct. The signal is still about 4.1 kilometers away.
And how are we going to get down there?
Unfortunately, I have no data on how to overcome real-world obstacles.
A lake that this huge plant grew into. It almost extends right up to my cliff. Only about 20 or 30 meters deeper. A huge plant that broke through from above and grew into the lake.
There are insects sucking on it, glowing.
If it's growing upwards, it has to be somewhere on this plateau.
That is to be assumed. There are many here, but it is not clear which one it is.
A huge crack in the rock wall. Looks like the plant broke through from above. If we find that rift, we might be able to climb down on the plant.
Or we find the plant itself.
I'm sure I've already been close to this ledge. It's part of this plateau I'm on after all. But even if I was right above it, it's still too much of a descent. I once spent a week on a planet with a similar view. Back then, I planned every expedition in a way that I could enjoy that view as much as possible. Now, I'd almost be happy to see the boring interior of a functioning spaceship instead, and without any surprises. But only almost. The signal came from this direction. The source must be somewhere on the lower plane behind these mountains. The roots here have grown to become a net-like mesh. It's protruding from this red water here. The insect is also glowing red. There was nothing special on this side of the swamp. It all looked the same. And the path seems to be just back here. But we also need some kind of reference point that we can follow. The signal will only take us to the edge. The net is too loose-knit for these insects. And even though I might be very imaginative, I can't see myself needing a bag full of alien mosquitoes. Let's see. They're burning well, but mostly they're producing lots of smoke. They won't do me much good here on the ground. A plant growing beyond the crater's edge. It's gonna be like a bridge soon, but it's too slippery to walk on even though it's got small indentations.
A visual analysis shows that your bridge comparison is mainly unjustified. I would register it thus: mossy, slippery, unclimbable, leafy plant. And likes it moist and shady. Fertilize once a month.
The indentations are pretty soft, and I don't have to make them any larger. That would just cause liquid to come out, making the plant more slippery. A small crater filled with blue-tinged, slightly strange-looking water. Is there something glinting at the bottom of the crater?
Confirmed. There is an object consisting of various metals and salts in the middle of the crater that is shimmering blue.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, and I will have my vengeance? But apart from vengeance, this won't help me. I can't attach it to the pole. I can't attach them here. It's too sharp. Put the net in the water? I won't reach it from here. Core, couldn't you try?
I am a levitating, high-tech sphere, capable of solving the most complicated calculations in fractions of a second, and you want me to act like a common cargo robot?
You could have just said no.
Limbs are overrated.
A plant growing beyond the crater's edge. It's gonna be like
a visual analysis. I would register it thus: and likes it moist and shady.
Put the net in the water? This plant seems to be dead and dried up, even though there's water in this crater. Looks like all the other plants had the same fate. And there aren't any insects here either.
My sensors indicate that the roots of these plants have been damaged and the capillary vessels have been blocked by salt residue. The plant died of thirst.
Completely dried up.
They will not help us.
I wonder if burning them would do anything.
What purpose would that have? They might not burn at all. That would be a waste. If they do burn, however, you might be faced with a bigger problem, even if we disregard the potentially toxic fumes.
It was just an idea. I think I was a bit of a pyromaniac as a kid. Completely dried up.
They will not help us.
Completely dried.
They will not help us.
I don't see what that would do. That might be useful. Completely dried up.
They will not help us.
If I tied this to the hook, I could probably catch some huge fish. Completely dried up.
They will not help us.
I might be able to grab the meteorite with this, but I can hardly see it from the edge, and it's too far away. A plant growing beyond the crater's edge. It's gonna be like a bridge soon.
A visual analysis I would register and...
I can push them in a bit, but they're still wiggling. The indentations are pretty soft, and I don't have to make them any larger. That would just cause liquid to come out, making the plant more slippery. The bolts are only a few centimeters deep inside the plant. They won't be able to carry me. The indentations are pretty soft, and I don't have to make them any larger. No, I can't get back up there to the wreck. Whatever I throw in here, I won't be... They don't have any interesting properties. They're too tough to pull out together, and pulling them out individually would... I've already got some of them. I won't be getting... It's protruding from this red water here. The insect is also glowing red. Unlike the others, these insects are glowing red. The water in this pond is very shallow and has a different color. It's red-brown instead of yellow-green. There was nothing special on this side of the swamp. It all looked the same. And the path seems to be just back here. But we also need some kind of reference. There was nothing special on this side of the swamp. It all looked the same. But we also...
The signal is coming from this direction and there is a 29-meter descent here. The only way up appears to be this plant that has broken through the cliff over there.
Can you follow it?
The plants are too thick and their materials are too similar. My sensors cannot distinguish between the data.
A huge plant that broke through from above and grew into the
There are insects sucking on.
If it's growing...
That is to be assumed.
I'd definitely reach the lake. The unscientific concept of a wishing well only works with something valuable, not trash and tools. No, I can't get back up there to the wreck. There has to be something in this labyrinth of plants that can help me out. The net is too loose-knit for these insects. The bolts are only a few centimeters deep inside the plant. No, I can't get back up there to the wreck. I can't reach it. The net is too loose. Oh, so they didn't like the smoke either. Now they're over there, eating and glowing. There was nothing special on this side of the swamp. It all looked the same. And the path seems to be just back here. But we also need some kind of reference. I'll be careful. Don't want to burn them. And who knows, they might be vengeful creatures. That was a bit much. They flew away. It's protruding from this There's a black liquid seeping out of the cut. I don't think the plant is sucking up the blood, or at least I can't see it. The water in this pond is very shallow and has a different color. There was nothing special on this side of the swamp. It all looked the same. And the path seems to be just back here. But we also need some kind of
You won't reach these insects, Tessa. They don't respond to me. Maybe they see me as one of their own.
I don't want to burn them, just rile them a bit. Let's see. The smell is making them uneasy, but they're not leaving. I'll be careful. Don't want to burn them. And who knows, they might be vengeful creatures. That was a bit much. They flew away. Right. Now they're pretty stable. Careful.
Do you think this is a good idea? Does taking this risk bring you closer to your goal?
Chill out, Cora. Unusual situations require unusual measures, and what I'm gonna find in this crater is going to be quite unusual.
According to my calculations, the outcome of climbing one of these plants is lethal in 9.4% of all cases. Statistics are no joke.
I hurled my butt through space inside of a hunk of metal with controlled ionic detonations. You really think I'm scared of a bit of free climbing? This plant is sturdy, and all that's beneath it is a puddle. And I have to climb it anyways to find a way out of this swamp, because otherwise we'd die. Sometimes you have to live dangerously, Core, or you might never live at all. Don't you have a curiosity algorithm? Or some humor routines? If we're really going to starve, dry up, or get eaten by aliens, I want to at least be able to laugh.
You want me to be funny?
Yes, exactly. Whoa. We'll practice. Okay then. Say something funny.
Calculating.
I'm waiting.
Joke confirmed. What did the sun say to the earth?
No, I don't want you to tell me a joke. Make fun of our situation. About the swamp, our location, about me, about yourself, anything. I mean, you can tell me about dangers if you want, but just do it more interestingly, more excitingly, maybe even sarcastically.
I understand. So, should you fall from the plant, please scream as loudly as possible so Mark Bennett can find us. Because I can't catch you or perform first aid.
Good attempt at sarcasm, Core. Could have been worse. Let's see. All I have to do is not drop it. Slowly. Got it. And now... Pretty heavy. But there it is. The blue shimmering meteorite from the crater. It's probably what caused the water to be blue.
Highly likely. It is full of blue salt crystals that slowly dissolved in the water.
I hope all the trouble I went through with the meteorite was worth it. Completely dried up.
They will not help us.
The blue shimmering meteorite from...
Highly likely. It is full of blue... What are you trying to do?
Unpleasant, but... unavoidable.
Physical exertion to relieve stress?
That should have been worth it. Take a look. Yes! The lake is turning blue. It looks like it's working. The mosquitoes turned blue for a second. But they flew away. They don't seem to like the plant's juice anymore after we tampered with it.
Humankind is famous for this behavior. A function ecosystem that humanity does not fully comprehend is altered and permanently damaged, all out of pure self-interest. All the indigenous fauna can do is flee.
If I can escape this planet by giving the indigenous fauna a bellyache, then I'll gladly be the poster child for my species' wrongdoings.
I have seen worse specimens of your species.
The meteorite is inside the lake, coloring the water blue. The insects that sucked on the plant also started glowing blue. Until they flew off in disgust, that is. It's soaking up the blue water. The insects that suck... If the plant is growing upward, we have to find it in this undergrowth, and then we can follow it. It's soaking up the blue water. The insects that sucked on it glowed blue for a second and then flew away. If the plant is growing upwards, it has to be somewhere on this plateau. We have to find it in this undergrowth, and then we can follow it. The meteorite is inside the lake, coloring the insects that sucked. Damn it! I keep coming out at the same places. I think I've seen everything there is to see in this area.
Confirmed. We must concentrate on what we have at hand.
There was nothing special on this side of the swamp. It all looked the same. And the path seems to be just back here. But we also need some kind of reference point that... The signal came from this direction.
The signal is coming from this direction and is about 4.1 kilometers away. There is a 29-meter descent here with nowhere for us to climb down. The only way up appears to be this plant that has broken through the cliff over there.
Can you follow the plant now that is soaking up the blue water?
Unfortunately not. I cannot detect the liquid with my sensors.
Then we have to find out some other way which of these are this plant's tendrils. This plant seems to be dead and looks like all the other plants had, and there aren't any
My sensors indicate that the roots of these plants have been damaged and the capillary vessels have been blocked by salt residue. The plant died of thirst.
Now I've got the meteorite, there's no more reason to put myself in danger. Long, thin, slightly oily fibers.
You won't reach these insects, Tessa. They don't respond to...
Whatever I throw in here, I won't be able to get it back. No, I can't get back up there to the wreck. I'll be careful. Don't want to burn them. That was a bit much. I can't... I can't attach them here. There was nothing special on this side of the swamp. It all looked the same. And the path seems to be just back here. But we also need some kind of Damn it! I keep coming out at the same places.
Confirmed.
These remind me more of corals than of plants.
Corals on Earth are...
Tony would have been Incredible how dirty, but we humans are...
This disgust
Thanks for the... It's soaking up the blue water. If the plant is growing up, we have to find it in this undergrowth, and then we can follow it. I'd definitely reach the lake. The unscientific concept of a wishing well only works with something valuable, not trash. I'd definitely reach the Damn, it's too slippery to attach the fibers. I can't attach them here. Let's see. They're burning well, but mostly they're producing lots of smoke. They won't do me much good here on the ground. They're burning well, but mostly they're producing lots of smoke. They won't do me much good here on the ground. The meteorite is inside the Let's see. They're burning well. They're getting uneasy, but A few of them got scared, but they just sat down again. I'll be careful. That. There was nothing special on this side of the swamp. It all looked the same. But we also... Damn it! I keep...
Confirmed.
Completely dried up.
They will not help.
Completely dried up.
They will not help.
Completely...
They will not.
Completely dried up.
They will not.
I won...
What purpose if they do?
It was just...
You won't reach these insects.
There was nothing special on this, but we also need... There was nothing special on this side of the swamp. It all looked the same. But we also need some...
The insects here probably glow red due to the different coloration of the water. My sensors detect blood in the water. The reason might be behind this plant. The signal is coming from this direction.
There was nothing special on... But we also... There was nothing special on this side of the swamp. It all looked the same. But we also...
The signal is coming from this direction. The signal is coming from this direction.
Damn it! I keep coming out...
Confirmed. We must concentrate on what... This is a dense network of individual plant fibers that extend underground for many kilometers. They are all part of the same species and leave no... The signal is coming... The crater is about 1.9 meters deep. The water inside is at a level of 1.4 meters. The blue color seems to come from a reaction with the meteorite's salty elements. The signal is coming from this direction. The signal is coming from this direction.
There was nothing special on this side of the swamp. It all looked the same. But we also need some kind of... No, I can't get back up there to the wreck.
The signal is coming from this direction.
How deep is the water core?
More than 1 meter here.
Whatever I throw in here, I won't be able... Whatever I throw in here, I haven't quite reached the point where I turn into a spearfishing hermit. But it's not far off.